I'll tell you what I mean. That is why at the end of the day, the businessmen, when they become preachers, they treat the church as an entity, as an LTD and a PTY company. When they look at the people, they don't look at them as children of God, but they look at them as clients that must pop out money because they are used to business. Listen, there are many businessmen that I know that were never preachers. They never did preach. But when he has entered the church after 6 months, they ordain maybe the man, or after 6 months, the businessman becomes a preacher, becomes a pastor of the church. The question is, the Bible says, you must never allow a novice to preach. What is a novice? N-O-V-I-C-E, a beginner, a new person in the Lord. The Bible says, here comes a brother. Let's say the brother come and serve with us. He's 6 months with us. Now suddenly after 6 months, Sunday start to preach. There's a problem. There's a problem. He just came in, only 6 months. Now suddenly he preach. I'm endangering the church. There's a problem because the Bible says a novice must sit down, must learn, must be taught. And if the novice cannot be taught, then he becomes a bastard. An illegitimate child. He's good for nothing. Now you find businessmen, the reason why they give businessmen the pulpit is because of their money. They call the shots. They don't even know how to preach. But their money makes them to occupy a position. Go to many churches. Most of them were businessmen. But suddenly, after 3 months, those businessmen are preachers in the church. What business has a businessman behind the pulpit? I know this is a challenge. Hence I said I don't have a problem with the minister who started to preach. And in the long run, God bless him. But here's a businessman 2 months in the church. And now he becomes a preacher of the church. Go check the church, what's going to happen. They are going to die spiritually. Let me tell you a secret. God can bless somebody to be an accountant here in the church. Let's say a brother maybe, or even a sister. But let's say on the issue of finance, money. They know how money works. Is that right? Accountants know. Let me tell you, as a child of God, you are not qualified as a pastor to take the accountant in the church and say, because you know about money, would you please come and fall in the position of finance? God can kill you. With God, it's not about what you know. That's why the Bible says when Stephen had to be buried, in the issue of Stephen, they chose 7 men that were filled with the Spirit of God. You can have an accountant in the church to run the affairs of the money of the church and yet not being called by God. Let's say we take the brother, accounting, but accounting. I will train him. It's about spirituality. It's not about the papers. It's not about what you know. It's about they chose 7 men in the days of Stephen who had the Spirit of God in them. But look at the church. It's run by a program.